Hello and welcome back to the Simpson Show podcast. You can find out more about me on www.stusimpson.co.uk. I've got a new book out, hooray! But that's not what today's podcast is all about. Today's podcast is I am very, very tired and I'm very, very sore because I've been working on a movie for the last 3 months and I've been busy and it's taken its toll on my body. So I have a friend of mine who is beginning to practice Reiki called Val Widdowson. So today we're going to talk about Reiki. What is Reiki and is it of benefit to you, me, and anybody who takes part in it? So let's find out what Reiki is by chatting to Val. Hello, Val. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, after this morning's Reiki session, I am beaming and brimming with energy.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
Oh, good. So for the listeners at home, yes, I had a Reiki session this morning, my first ever hands-on Reiki session with Val, our today's guest, Val Widdowson, that I know from the village Castle Carrick. So are you originally from here, Val?
No, I'm from Longridge, near Preston, Lancashire.
Excellent. So when did you move here?
I moved here in 1994, quite a long time ago. My husband is from this area. He was down in Lancashire, working in Lancashire, where we met, and 1994 we decided to come back here.
Oh, so I didn't know that guy was from here.
Yeah, he is.
Well, see, that's what we get when we fall in love with Cumbrians. We just end up in Cumbria. It seems to be the way of things.
That's it, yes.
So do you have any spiritual or religious beliefs or a background yourself?
Well, I was brought up Catholic. My dad's very, very strong Catholic. But no, I don't have religious beliefs myself. Mm-hmm. I'm very spiritual, but not religious. Wasn't overly taken with the Catholic religion as I was growing up because I didn't feel that they were really practicing what they were preaching. Mm-hmm. We, as a family, we didn't have much money, and we used to get priests talking about how we should give to the poor, and there would forever be collections for CAFOD or whatever they were collecting for. And I would see the priest with a cigarette in his hand smoking, and I would think, well, those cigarettes cost money. And, how can you afford to smoke when you tell us that we should put all our spare money in a pot and give it to the poor? So it for a very young age, it didn't really add up for me.
It didn't resonate. No,
not at all.
So you say you are spiritual. So what does that involve?
I believe there is something after life. I believe that we are on Earth. Earth is a school. I believe we're sent here to learn something, and then we move on to the next thing. And I do believe that we do keep coming back on Earth to learn more things, different things each time.
All right.
So yeah, I do believe there are beings out there helping us along the way.
Yeah, like not trying to put words in your mouth, but like angels and things.
Yes, absolutely. Angels, spirit guides, all those kind of things.
Yeah. And right, so let's get into the basics of Reiki. So what your spiritual beliefs, does that have anything to do with Reiki? Or do they go hand in hand?
I think so. Yeah, I think they do, because Reiki it uses the divine light, spiritual energy for healing. So yeah, it is a use of the spirit, if you like, to help us on Earth.
Okay, so what is Reiki?
Right, Reiki. The word Reiki is Japanese, and Rei means universal, and Ki is life force. So Reiki is spiritually guided, universal life force energy. Everything in the universe is energy that resonates at different rates. So vibrations, including us, our bodies. You've got gases, liquids, solids. Everything's resonating at different frequencies. So we've all got different vibrations. So we have our physical body, and our physical body is surrounded by our energy field, or our aura, or our etheric body. And life throws things at us. It causes emotions, as we react to life happening to us. And most ailments begin in the etheric body, the aura, caused by emotions as we react to life happening to us. And these manifest into physical symptoms all over the body. So basically, the physical body falls in line with the emotional body and creates disease. Going on with the energy, our body has 7 chakras, and the chakras, 7 main chakras. There are many chakras, but the main ones are the 7. And they are energy centers within our body. And they start at the base and work up to the top of the head. And basically, these chakras need to be balanced for good health. But because of the emotions that we feel with reactions to life happening to us, they very often go out of balance. So Reiki tries to correct that and bring things back into balance. That's the aim of Reiki. Reiki, there's lots of healers around that don't necessarily use Reiki. Reiki is using specific vibrations. And it produces an electromagnetic field. Sorry if I can say the word properly. An electromagnetic field of energy to stimulate the natural self-healing process. So the practitioner will channel the universal life force energy, which is good because it goes to the recipient, but it goes through the healer. So the healer actually gets the energy as well for healing. So you both get healed. Which is good.
I was thinking about that while you were doing when you were doing the session this morning. I was like, are you benefiting or is it draining for you?
No, it's not draining at all. We both benefit. It's
amazing.
Really good for that. It is good. But the actual Reiki itself, it goes to where it needs to go. The Reiki practitioner will put hands on all sorts of positions all over the body on the chakras. But the Reiki knows where it needs to go. I had a person once that I was Reikiing. I was doing distance Reiki. And he'd been complaining that his knees were hurting a lot. He was an elderly man. And I thought, okay, I'll send some Reiki to your knees. So I was visualizing sending it to the knees. And it wouldn't stay, that it wouldn't go on his knees. It kept moving up to his heart. And it was only afterwards I thought, why did it keep doing that? And then I realized it's because he had a heart condition. He was waiting for heart surgery.
Wow.
So it goes to where it needs to go the most. So which is a very clever thing. During Reiki, people feel all sorts of different things. You may feel warm, you may feel cold, you may feel tingling as the energy goes round. You may see colours or images. Generally, people feel very relaxed, and I've had quite a few people go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then you get those that don't feel anything at all. It's not that they're not receiving any healing. They just don't feel it. They just don't feel it.
Yeah.
Afterwards, well, during Reiki, it's healing at a cellular level. So not every cell in the body can be healed. So those cells need to leave the body. And as our body is mainly water, that's how it tends to leave the body. So it's excretion. You might go to the toilet, perspire, maybe tears, crying. So it's very important at the end. It's like a detox.
Yeah.
So at the end of the session, it's very important to have a drink of water, replenish the water so that you can have cellular regeneration going on.
Yeah. I got a little bit teary. But anyway, yeah.
Well, it brings things when you're having a Reiki session. It brings things to the surface that need healing. So if you have emotional issues or mental issues, it will bring them up so that they can be addressed and dealt with.
It was interesting in the sense that I think, like, looking back now, I feel as if I'm very aware that perhaps in some ways I was blocking, and I think that's part of the problem. It's kind of about like I was talking to after the session about kind of actually about being my genuine self, and this is kind of one of the things which I'm hoping to address on doing the Camino, and that's one of the reasons why I came to it, because of my foot. And then, but it's actually in this, it's so there's a lot of deeper stuff going on that it seems to be bringing up. And but while the session was happening, I was kind of going, part of me was feeling that I wanted to cry, but I also, there's another part of me which is actually blocking the true self, because I don't want to show the world who I am, because that makes me feel vulnerable. So interesting that that you bring up that the Reiki brings up stuff which you don't really realize that wants to be brought up on an egoic level. Does that make sense?
Yes, it may be something that's really, really deep inside you that you've just, you've not been aware of for a long time, because it's buried so deep. But it will bring it out if it needs to come out. Healing. There are, you've had distance Reiki, and you've had in-person Reiki as well, which can be hands-on on the physical body. It can also be in the aura, because you have your energy field which is around you. The hands don't have to physically touch. It can be in the aura, and it would still work the same way.
Because I was wondering about that before I went into it. I was going to, if you were going to like touch my body, or if it was just going to be in my general field, as it were. And the hands-on thing was it was a very different experience to what my other friend did to me from a distance. But I felt as if this was much more powerful for me.
Right. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
So how did you learn it? How did you learn Reiki?
I went to a Reiki teacher and did it over 2-3 days. You do need to be attuned to do it professionally. Well, you need to do attuned. You can, actually, anybody can do Reiki. Anybody can do it, but until you're attuned, it won't be as strong. So it's much better if you get the proper attunement. And
I think we talked about earlier that there's more than one sort of Reiki. Is that right?
There's loads of sorts of Reiki. I do Uzui Reiki and I do angelic Reiki, but there are other Reiki such as Karuna Reiki and Holy Fire Reiki. And I was looking on Google the other day, and it was saying there are 25 different forms of Reiki. Some of them will be offshoots. Some of them are newer Reikis. The angelic Reiki only came in 2002 from the angelic realm, and it was channeled to Kevin Core and Christine Core. They've developed it. So there's a lot of, and they work on different vibrations. So some are on a finer vibration than others. But yeah, there are more coming. There are more coming.
That's excellent. It's really interesting. So we've touched on how it works. Do you feel like the energy coming through you somehow?
Yeah, you do. It's like a pulsing. You can feel the pulsing energy in your hands and through me. You do feel that. And the practitioner may feel what your ailments are. Sometimes they feel that. They can see colours, similar to what the recipient may or may not feel during a session.
So is it similar to seeing auras and things, or is that a different thing?
Well, I don't see auras. Yeah. I don't know many people that do see auras.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, from time to time, but I can't control it. It's a really weird thing. I'll be just sat there somewhere, kind of just having a conversation with somebody. It happened the other day on a film set, and then all of a sudden I could just see the person in front of me kind of glowing, and it's like a white outline around the body. And I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. So, but then I kind of sort of.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I have had that very occasionally with the white, but I've also met one person who got the full aura, all the colours. She's had that all her life, and she gets all the colours, and it's like, wow. Imagine being able to see that.
I think there's something going on, but it freaks me out, so I step away from it. And I used to read rune stones, and strange things would happen, like really weird things. So I'd get freaked out again and go, I'm really kind of a bit scared. So there's something going on with me. I do follow a spiritual path, and but and maybe because I was brought up a Catholic as well, that there's this sort of backwards and forwards of going.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So because you've had a similar experience as well.
Yeah.
So was it expensive to learn?
Well, everything's relative, isn't it? Angelic 1 and 2 cost me £252. That's the first stage, and you can practice and take customers with that. I've also done the master teacher, which was £444 on the Angelic. The Uzui, there are 4 stages. I've done 1 and 2. Uzui 1 costs £150 and Uzui 2 cost me £185. I haven't done the 3 and 4. They're quite a lot more money, about £600 to do those. But that's where I went. There'll be different prices, for different places, I would think.
Excellent. So if somebody wants to, right, no, that other question. Sorry, ADHD. Hooray! My brain bounces all over the shop. So, do you have to believe in Reiki for it to actually work?
As a recipient,
yeah. Do you have to have faith in it? You don't.
You don't at all. When you're doing Reiki, you're connecting with your the practitioner connects with your higher self, the recipient's higher self. It's a difference between the conscious mind and your subconscious mind. So we're connecting with the subconscious mind. So if somebody's saying, no, I don't believe in all that rubbish, I don't want any of that. And then I might decide, right, okay, I know you're real. I'm going to send you some Reiki by distance because I know you're saying you don't want it, but your higher self might know that you do need it. So you can send it, and if you ask the higher self whether they want to accept it, and very often they do, even though the conscious person doesn't want it. The higher self knows that it needs it. But in some cases, you might send distance Reiki to somebody for a particular thing, and it might bounce back. The higher self might reject the healing. If that happens, it's usually because they need to experience what they're going through as part of their life plan.
Right.
Yeah. They need to experience it. It's what they're here for.
And do you know the history of Reiki? You said something about Japan.
Yes. It was Uzui Reiki was reinvented in the 1800s by Mikao Uzui, a Japanese man. It's believed that it's been used for thousands of years by Tibetan monks. I think it's a very, very ancient healing form. It probably goes back, since before the times of Jesus. I mean, it's probably what Jesus was using when he was doing his miracles.
Wow, yeah,
that's very, very powerful. Yeah.
You've also just reminded me of a scene from The Karate Kid. Don't know if you've seen it. But there's a bit when Daniel San hurts his leg and the master puts his hands, and I was like, but now I know what you do. I'm like, oh, that could be Reiki.
It could be. There you go.
So, but that is only a film after all. So, so if someone would like to get a Reiki session from you, is that possible? I know you did for me because friends and whatever. But if someone would professionally like to come and get something done, if they need sorted out, would you do that?
I would. Up to now, I've been doing it on family and friends, but I am starting now to do other clients. So if they would like to email me on hello@vmwtherapies.co.uk, you can get in touch.
So this is your new business venture, is it? VM.
It's my new business venture. Yeah.
How exciting! So just for one last time, so people don't forget, and I'll put it in the description. How do they get in touch?
hello@vmwtherapies.co.uk.
That's absolutely wonderful. So I'm sure if they've got any more questions about Reiki, you'll tell them all they need to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is. So thank you so much for today's Reiki session and for the interview. It's been wonderful. So yeah, I'm sure if I do the Camino de Santiago, or when I do the Camino de Santiago, if I might end up having to phone you halfway through going, I'm in pain, send me some Reiki.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing about Reiki is that you can send Reiki to an event in the future.
Oh yeah.
So I could send Reiki to your walk, your event, and so that it all happens for the best for you. So I will send some healing energy to that.
Oh, that's so lovely. And yeah, it's great. Thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Come around for dinner.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. And I shall see you soon. Lots of love. Namaste.
Namaste.